What's up, everyone? Drew, aka Catching Rockets here. I hope y'all are having a good weekend so far. Getting ready for trading on Monday. Um, I don't know. I feel like we need to take a moment to talk about how massive my balls are. I'm just saying that because it looks like there's zero viewers. I don't like you guys either. Yeah. Um. Anyway, I guess I'll go through my video. Hey, what's up, Lisa? Um, Basically, our plan for Friday was to expect a rejection here on the first tap, and then when we break through, we're going to make new all-time highs. Exactly what happened. And then we were saying if we pull back to this level here, specifically this green box, is where we would really like to be in calls. And we said stop loss needs to be below previous day value area low. So if you did get in here towards the end of the day, you got a nice bounce and played it back up. If we dial it down to the lower time frame, we can see exactly what I had said happened. We came up, literally hit this level, rejected back down, came back to it, rejected back down, finally broke through, and boom, went ahead and made a brand new all-time high at 616.39. And from there it sold off. I feel like I need to be transparent about something because I don't know. I'm mildly proud of myself, mildly not proud of myself. Thank you, M. Bradley. I appreciate that. What's up, Nitro? On ES, this was my zone to get into long. And you can see it tapped to a T. If you want to figure out how to find, levels like this, I did a class on it in Keenan's. It's very accurate, very, very good way to trade. I actually got into this trade live on stream right here at 6198. And I said I'm probably getting in early, but I had to leave and go to work, so I couldn't really monitor it. And I told everybody the entry I really want is this green zone here. And from there, I was targeting 50 or 250, 250. So all night long at work, I'm just, in this trade. I get home in the morning, and we were up pretty good. I think at this point I was up like $700 on the trade. Sold off all the way almost back to break even. And then right out the open for the New York session, we just rocketed, right? I came home from work and ideally I would have liked to let the trade run all the way to 6,250. But there's an issue with futures. The market closes every day for an hour. And on Fridays, it closes for 25 hours, right? Closes Friday evening and reopens Sunday evening. You cannot swing trade futures. Being that I worked all night and I had to go to sleep, I wasn't comfortable leaving, my stop loss wherever it was. It was down here somewhere. It would have got hit if I didn't close my trade, basically. And my take profit was right here. And I had told everybody I'm not moving my orders. Either they hit my stop loss or they hit my take profit. But the thing is I was expecting them to do that in the overnight session before I got home from work. I get home from work, and by the time I'm getting ready to go to bed, price is right around here somewhere. I don't remember the exact level. It was pretty close to my take profit, but I know anything could happen. It could sell off. And again, I have no issue if they did this and I get stopped out. But being that I can't swing trade, I can't afford to leave a trade open that does this and doesn't make it to my take profit or to my stop loss while I'm sleeping, and I'm also not going to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning or whatever, 1:45 in the morning to make sure that either my take profit or my stop loss got hit. So I ended up just closing the trade. I mean, today I'm glad I did, because I never would have made it to my take profit, and it would be pretty rough to be up whatever it is, like probably right around $1,200 or $1,300 to go and get stopped out for -300, right? So I ended up closing right around here for just about $1,000 profit, because again, I can't be swing trading, and risk my take profit not getting hit, or my stop loss, either one. Can't just have a trade open, because then my account will get liquidated if I do that. Or they might, they do try to automatically close the positions for you, but there's a chance that my account gets liquidated. So this is probably not a bad short coming up here on futures. Just going off of like naked price action. I don't have anything else open like order flow or whatever that I would rather have for Confluence, but pretty sure we would probably get a rejection down from there. That's going to be like our current all-time high, and they're making a double top right now. Back to SPY. Let's start erasing everything. But really, I mean, for people on my channel, just no surprises. We've been talking about new all-time highs on SPY for, I don't know the exact time frame, and I never want to be a liar, but I'll just say somewhere between like 6 to 8 weeks we've been talking about that happening. And we've just been patiently waiting for them to give it to us. And then now, we got to figure out what they're going to do from here. Of course, more pumping is always possibly on the books. What's up, Gigi? What's up, Jack? All right. Session volume profile, 30 minutes. Time frame. Just so you guys know, so I'm always a student. I've never understood how to read earnings reports other than like the basics of like, obviously like when you're looking at an earnings report, it's like the gross income, and you subtract, like the cost of whatever it is to make that product that they're making or whatever. And from there, you figure out like their actual profits or whatever. But so on Saturday, I started, was it Saturday? Either Saturday or Friday, I don't remember. I started studying earnings reports, and then also dividend stocks, because there's a specific thing that you want to look at when you're choosing dividend stocks. So I'm going to be doing a class on that stuff eventually. Once I feel like I've got it down myself. Oh, and really quickly, before I get too involved in this, I thought I should mention this to everybody because this is a huge opportunity. For people, that have been around for a while, you'll understand how big this is because you've seen the clouds, over and over again over the course of time. I've only seen Shorty do this 2 other times in I think 4 years that I've known him. He's selling his Thinkorswim indicators, so like the clouds and the full send indicator, which is what I use to find my setups for option trades. So I literally use a combination of the clouds and full send to find option setups. And if anybody's interested, like if you want to buy this package from him, I'll teach you how I use the clouds and the full send indicator to find my option trades. But so he's doing lifetime membership on his Discord, the toss indicators. And before I say this, actually, I mean, the value's there, but those indicators, the clouds alone, Shorty spent like over $100,000 developing. Um, and they're just absolutely insanely accurate. Um, so he's offering that whole package, the clouds, indicators, other stuff, and lifetime Discord membership for $1,200. If anybody's interested, I would hop on it because I don't know how long he'll accept it. Like maybe 2 weeks, probably. I would guess he'll entertain people's desire to buy it, and after that he'll stop it. And he's not one of those people where he'll be like, hey, I'm only going to sell this for 2 weeks, and you hit him up on the 15th day, he'll be like, sorry, it was only available for 2 weeks and that's it. Not that he's an asshole, but he's just a man of his words. Like when he says this is the time frame, that's the time frame. So anyway, just throwing it out there just in case anybody happens to be interested. It's an amazing deal. It's definitely not inexpensive, but the value for what you're getting, you would basically be watching me trade live every day. And Shorty generally trades live like 2 or 3 days a week. Or I shouldn't say every day. I generally trade live like 3 to 4 days a week, sometimes 5 days a week. It's just, kind of whatever my availability is. I try to be live every day. But so anyway, just wanted to throw it out there just in case there is anybody that's interested, because again, he does not offer this very often. The last time he did it, he sold it for $2,000. So this is like a super good deal. And maybe if he does ever offer it again, maybe it'll be cheaper, but it could be years before he offers that deal again. So just a heads up. That said, let's get back into charting. You guys know I'm never here like trying to promote or sell Discords or whatever. But just want to let you know about that because it's a big enough deal that I feel like it's worth mentioning. Why is this weird? Oh, that cannot be monthly. I mean weekly. Okay, that's why it's weird. Oh, and actually right now we can chart our June levels because literally tomorrow is the last day of the month, which is crazy. My entire birthday month is over. I'm going to have to go back to celebrating my birthday year now because all those... what's the right word? I can't think of the word, but like girls that think they're more important than everybody else, that think they have a whole month for their birthday. I always tell them, oh, I'm celebrating my birthday year. Because that's how I roll. All right, weekly levels. Let's go ahead and do our June levels. I should also tell you guys, like, if I seem off, I apologize. A lot of you might not know this, but I'm kind of a tank when it comes to drinking. I don't drink a lot. But like if I'm at a party and like, whatever, they're doing shots and they offer me a shot, I'm going to take it. And they offer me another one, I'm going to take it. I went to a party last night and my wife's friend's father like invited me to come sit at the table with him, like the head of the table. And he's like, hey, you want a shot? I'm like, oh yeah, sure. You want a beer? Yeah, sure. I think I had like 7 beers and like 7 shots of tequila. But the banger part was I didn't eat anything all day. And of course my wife's like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, babe, I'm fine. She was like, yeah, you don't sound drunk. I'm like, I'm not. But my body always hates me the next day though when I do stuff like that. But yeah, I'm a tank. Like I can drink like a fish underwater. No issues. And I don't say that as something like that to be proud of, but it's just about impossible to get me drunk. Just about. And Pops could drink too. So we were going blow for blow. So I kind of always use a disclaimer for this. Our June value area high and weekly value area low are basically the same level, but for my chart, I'm going to put both. If you're trading this, I would recommend combining the two. But just so you guys have the actual levels, I chart both. Alrighty. That's a crazy 4-hour candle that came right to our buy zone. Let's see. Nah, Pops was cool. Thank you, Nathan. Yeah, that was a good trade. Made a lot of money on that one. Um, yeah, no, Pops was cool. He wasn't trying to hurt me or anything. He was actually a super nice guy. And you could tell. So like, um, this is always kind of I'm gonna say weird, but it's not weird. But like, I tend to befriend Hispanic people, and so you could tell like, Dad is literally from like Mexico, right? But making an effort to do his best to speak English, and I was making my best effort to speak to him in Spanish. Um, I guess respect both ways, you know. Super super nice guy. I had a blast. We had some really cool conversations. Had a good time. He was just trying to be polite and respectful, you know. And I think he saw like, oh damn, this dude can drink, so I guess let's do it. Let's run it. Yeah, but he could drink too. Kind of like Frank the Tank but Frank the Tank, he would get like a little out of control when he drinks. Like me, I'll talk to you like I'm talking right now. I'll walk a perfectly straight nut line. You wouldn't even know that I was like 12 drinks deep or 14 drinks deep or whatever it was. Um, so yeah. And my wife never gives me a hard time, like, because I don't get stupid. I don't get out of control, you know, like I'm just still Drew. Let's zoom out. I don't even know what I'm doing right now. I think this is pretty cool. Like, I have no information right above our previous high, all-time high. But I don't know, back here somewhere, I don't think it was December. But sometime, I don't know the exact time frame, but roughly like 6 to 8 weeks ago, I said we were going to be targeting this range, you know, up to like 616-ish. I think I had an exact levels like 616.40 or 616.50, down to like 613 and some change. I don't remember exactly where. And that's literally where we hit and rejected from, the high of or all-time high. And then sold off pretty hard and then bought it back up and closed right around 614.91. So pretty proud of myself for nailing the zone that we were going to. Now we have to figure out what they're going to do from here. That's the key. Hopefully you guys made some money off of this. Like either one of our call outs, like the initial tapping this level here and then rejecting and then breaking through it was your point to buy, to get into calls. And you guys would have got a nice run. There was like basically no pullback. And then other than that, we came down to our buy zone that we had identified, the high volume cluster. And that was your next opportunity to hop back into calls. And that gave us a nice run as well. So both was really just, you know, straight up with no breaks. So both should have made some really good money on options. Yeah, for sure, Nitro. And like just always a good time, right? They had an elote man. I mean, like they had food. I don't even like shrimp and rice and other stuff, potatoes. But like, I don't know, sometime in the night, like an elote man showed up with like all of the aqua fresa and all that stuff. And I like esquite. Dude kind of looked at me sideways though, because like I don't think he spoke English and my Spanish isn't that great. But I walked up and I'm like, oh, you know, hola, señor, dos esquite, por favor. con chile. And he looked at me and he goes, con todo? And I'm like, yeah, sí, por favor. That's about as good as my Spanish gets. Like, I can order food. I don't know where my wife is. I can order food. I could get a girl, and I can get drinks, and I can find a bathroom. That's about it. But yeah, that's the limitation of my Spanish. So anyway, back to Spy. We had really good volume on this day. Above average, nothing super crazy though. Oh, and Nitro, I should say, like, I love older Hispanic people. Like, they're so chill, right? You can like literally, you don't even have to talk. You can just sit there and sip a beer and just, look at the sunset together or whatever. Just chill, look at the view together. Marquez, I call them out. Oh yeah, no. I mean, Marquez, you could try to make me tap out on drinks. It's just not going to happen because you're going to be dead before I tap out. I mean, I'll eventually get drunk, right? I'll get to a point where I'm like, okay, I gotta stop. But you'll be like on your way to the hospital when I'm like, okay, I gotta stop now. So, yeah, no, just don't. Mm-mm. I got that English Irish blood in me. My Spanish is good. It's better when I'm drunk. ¿Dónde está mi esposa? Yeah, I gotta stop. I will get myself into trouble because, like, the only time I speak Spanish is when I'm drinking. So, yeah, no, we gotta go backwards. Oh, sorry. So Marquez, I call out my trades. Like the last big move we called out was going to be Nvidia, I think. Was it? Netflix. We called out like almost 100-point move. I think this. I'd have to measure it. What time frame am I on? Here, I don't know. Yeah, it's this. So from here, I said we were going from, and just wild, like if you look at these levels, right? Grab puts at $9.95 on Netflix. First trim, second trim, third. Closed day trades here. And if you look in the 1 day, so we weren't getting in on this candle, we were getting in on this candle. So if we go to, actually here, let me do this so that I don't lose what I'm showing. If we go to a lower time frame, this was our entry, this candle or this candle, it doesn't matter. So most people should have got in here when we broke back above this level and then lost it. That was your time to get in. And then this level here is where we were closing our day trades, right? And we ended up going a little bit lower at the end of the day, but this was where we closed our day trade, right? If we're swinging, this would be your first trim, and ultimately we were looking for this level. And so if we play this forward now, let's go to 1 day really quick. The only thing I can't tell you, because this was a while ago, is I think I said it might take 2 weeks to play out. So get contracts like either a month or 2 months out. They ended up doing it in less than a week, which kind of surprised me, but it is what it is. So like this was where we would have closed our day trades. And then they reversed a little bit, bounced, came back, gapped down through that level. And then from there, we went to our closed swing trade level, chopped sideways, and then gapped down. And right at the open, we hit our closed swing trade level here. And from there, they just made a massive run to the upside, which just kind of shows how deadly I have a tendency to be on levels. And I'm not like bragging. Anybody can get to where I am. I'm not using any, special private indicators or anything like that to find levels. I got to go on a higher time frame than 5 minutes to do this. But yeah, they ended up running back up pretty high. So they did, they hit our target and then they bounced and went, they gave like a good almost 45-point bounce, right? And then they ended up losing that and going lower. But again, just shows kind of the accuracy of the levels that we're able to identify and find. And again, when I say that, anybody can do this. Like I don't have any secret magic. Anybody can do what I do. Just hard work. Okay. I call out both, Marquez. I haven't called out I haven't called out any option trades in a while, or at least none that have worked. I can pull them up on the screen really quick. This is going to be option trades that we've taken since February of this year. Bro, why aren't you moving? And this is our win rate, right? And all of this is confirmable. So like every single trade that you see on here was called out live on YouTube. And so like you could go back, like if the date says 3/26, then it would be the video that was recorded on 3/25 the night before. I would cover it and you would take the trade the next day. So I don't feel like counting, but we have 4 losses and then a butt ton of wins, right? I only share what I consider like really high confluence trades setups, which is why I don't call out a ton of option trades. You'll also notice a lot of people that call out option trades, they'll say, oh, on SPY above this level take calls and below this level take puts. All of mine, I'm only calling one direction, and that's because I have a pretty good idea of which direction the stock is going to go. And I don't like to just do a blanket like, oh, above this level do this, below this level do this. Like, no, I like to use my technical analysis to figure out which way the stock is going. Based on that information, I want to get in at a key level, exit before the reversal starts happening I guess a good example is like if we looked at NVIDIA again really quickly, Netflix. If we look at this again really quickly, my level to close the trade, dude, where is it? Why do I feel like I'm losing my mind? Okay. So it was here. And most of the time when I cover this stuff, I'll be like, oh, I think they're going to go down to here, let's say, right? So like you can probably look left and figure out like ideally this would be the place to close, right? This candle or the wick of this candle here, which is pretty much exactly where we came to. And then we came exactly to that again. But I don't want to try to close an option trade at the very bottom, even though I know where it's going to be, or at the very top, even though I probably have a very good idea of where it's going to be. I want to close before we get to that level so that I'm closing into strength and I'm not closing as the option contract reverses and starts going the other direction, because option contracts, they'll lose their value very quickly, right? So I try to close, like a little bit before the bottom or a little bit before the top. I call them out. If it's a swing trade, I'll say, I never say what contract to buy, but I'll say this will probably take 2 days to play out, so maybe get a contract for a week out. And that's how I do it. I don't share specific expiration dates. I don't share strike prices. And the reason for that is I never want the SEC to come to me and be like, you're manipulating the market by causing a large influx of buyers on these specific contracts. If I'm just giving like a blanket, like, this is the levels I'm targeting, this is where I'm entering, this is where I'm exiting, everybody's going to be buying different contracts, different expiration dates, different strike prices. And there's no way that I could be, like accused of, or I mean, I could be accused of it, but they would never be able to pin it on me because I'm not giving a specific contract or a specific strike price to where I'm causing like a large influx of orders on a specific contract, if that makes sense. So, Marquez, that's up to the individual. Like if they're swinging or closing the day trades or taking multiple contracts. I think most people that took it just took one contract because they were pretty pricey, because we were looking for a contract that was a month out, but people made a bag. Like people made an absolute bag on that trade. The ones that actually like played it all the way to the bottom made a really good, really big bag on that one. What else was I going to say? Yeah, Marquez, that's why it's better to trade options. I mean, futures, sorry. Oh, Steady said my Spanish is good. My French is better. I used to live in France when I was little, so like when I speak French, I have like a Parisian French accent. French people can't tell that I'm not French. So va te faire enculer. I just cussed you all out, by the way, in case you didn't know. All right, let's get back into this. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. Futures, let's see where we're at. They ended up smashing through that. That's wild. I mean, it's not too surprising, but really would have expected at least a little bit of a pullback from there. And I guess they did give us a little bit, like 2 points. And by a little bit, I mean like 10. So right now we're cruising into new all-time highs on SPY, right? That makes things very difficult in a sense, and in a sense it doesn't. I do not participate in price discovery, meaning if I look left, I have no information up here on where to close a trade or where to look for puts, right? So that starts making things very difficult. So like me, myself, if I don't have a reference, I won't trade, right? So I'll let things settle down. But whenever we're in price discovery, I'm not looking to be in a trade. Right now, I could say, let me see. We're approaching 617. So right now, we're like, I don't know, roughly here. And so with that said, all we can hope for is a retest and then play up to that level, right? If they end up going higher in the overnight session, then you can target whatever the high is of the overnight session as a place to close your calls. But I don't have that information right now, right? So I can say on a retest, grab calls and then close at the high or close slightly before the high. But again, difficult for me to call out levels when I don't have a reference to look back at to the left. And I kind of just won't do it. But I guess I would say from here, You can get a 1.5 on SPY. If we retest this and you grab calls and play it up to like 617. But that's the only information we have right now is prices basically at 617. And so we wouldn't be trying to take it higher, even though there's a good chance they do go higher. We have to go based on the information that we have. That's funny, Kenneth. Well, I would get comfortable very quickly, Marquez, because it's way better than trading options. Um, let's look at our news for tomorrow, and then we'll start figuring out levels. If there's anything that we're interested in taking tomorrow, figure out what I think they might do tomorrow. But right now, we need some information. Okay, there's like literally no news tomorrow. President Lagarde is talking tomorrow. I don't feel like pronouncing his name correctly. I can, but I don't want to. So this is the French president is speaking tomorrow after the Open. And they're saying that it's like a moderate news event that might move the market. Other than that, we have just nothing. We have some FOMC members talking, but nobody's super important. Bostic is generally pretty bullish. But them talking can cause the market to move, or it can cause the market to chop sideways, Tuesday, we have a lot of news, some important news. Wednesday, a little bit of news, not very much. Thursday, we've got a lot of news again, pre-market, and a little bit 30 minutes after the Open. And then Friday, almost nothing. All right. We're going to load up my futures software. We're going to look for some high volume clusters to figure out places where we really want to be looking for reversal trades. We're also looking at some imbalances where we might be looking to get out of or get into trades or whatever, get out of trades depending on what's happening. This takes a second to load. I apologize. Excuse me. All right. This is today? No. Okay. I was like, wow, that's wild. Makes complete sense that we went from there. But this is also, I'm going to be placing a trade as soon as I find this level. Because on a retest, I'm going to be in long. So actually, I'll use this to explain what we're looking at and why. Just so you guys know, while I have this chart up on my screen, I can't see my chat. So, like, kind of hard to explain, but if I click on this chart, it brings my entire trading software forward and puts my chat behind it. And my 49-inch monitor is literally a bunch of these charts, right? And so when I click on this anywhere, it'll pull the trading software forward to where I can't see my chat. So if you guys ask a question, just bear with me. I'll get back to you eventually when I see it. But for a minute here, I'm not going to be able to see what you guys are saying. So this is that area we were looking at on SPY, on ES, where I was saying, oh, they're going to sell off from here, right? So right here, I was saying that we're going to come back up to this level and reject back down. And what that level is that we're looking at, I need to go back to my chart here. was over here, right? So this is, if you look at the orders in this area compared to like most of the other chart, I mean, we do have like a large cluster of orders here, but right here, there's a distinction, right? We're at the very top of the range. We have this large block of orders where it's like 17,000, 18,500, almost 12,000, 13,500, and another 10,500, all right here. At this moment in time, we don't know if these are buyers or sellers, but right now we know they're sellers. What we're looking for is generally at least, and we're on a 1 hour chart, we're looking for a full body candle that opens and closes either above or below this range. And so this is our first full body candle that opened and closed below this range here that we're looking at, right? So right now we're like, oh, sellers, right? So the next time price comes to here, we would expect a rejection back down. And when you get, like good enough at this, you can kind of see these areas without needing all of these numbers. But the numbers also give you a lot of confluence. To confirm that what you're seeing is true. So right when we came to there, I already knew very good chance we have like a large block of sellers there because we have 2 full body candles below. And when I say 2, we're talking about 1 hour, and technically it's 3. It's like 1, 2, 3. Then we came back up right now and retested that zone. Normally they would reject and sell off from there, and in this case they didn't. But so now, now that we have broken through this level, I'm looking specifically here because these are even larger orders than over here. We're getting that full body candle above and below this 62.26 to 62.22. So I'm going to put my order at 62.26 right now. Why is that not right? Because I used the wrong level. Oh, 62.26. Yeah, I was thinking 46. So I was kind of confused. So right now I'm putting an order on ES. You're going to probably hear the beep. 62.26, and I'll do 62.26.50 just to be on the safe side. My take profit will be, I guess 62.38. I mean, I guess I could go higher. I'll do 62.40. And then I need to figure out my stop loss really quick. So they will invalidate my trade if we lose 219. So my stop loss will probably be 62.17.75. And now I just have to make sure the math is mathing. My entry is 226.50. Take profit 62.40. 17.75. 1.5 to 4. I can't do that. I can't take that. I guess I need to push my profit target out. I mean, this is fine, whatever. 44. Can I do this? Perfect. 2-to-1 risk to reward. I'm just going to push my profit target out to 44, which I kind of wanted to do anyway, because we're like cruising up to newer highs here. All right, so that's the trade I'm taking. Take profit 244, entry 2650, stop loss 1775. Anyway, sorry. Got to make money, you guys, you know. So anyway, we identify like these key high volume nodes and figure out where, if it's sellers based on candles opening and closing below. We're really looking for like a 30-minute candle opening above and below. But in this case, I'm looking at 1 hour and I'm getting like a candle opening and closing above. So that's good enough. When you look at this chart, for people that use Quantower, you go to cluster, and under type, you change it to single. And then under data type, you change it to volume. It defaults to like cell volume, which is just weird. Like, why would you not just default to all volume? And if you think cell volume is only sellers, then you need to do more of my classes, just FYI. That's not how it works. So anyway, I like to identify those large cluster nodes to enter trades. In this case, it's like 26 down to 219, which is why my stop loss is at 217.75. So come there, we should get a bounce, I would expect. And that's why I'm taking the trade there. Then the next thing, first we got to transpose this onto our SPY chart. So we're saying, sorry, where's my, it's 27 down to 19. Oh, I hate it when they're this big. I always feel like I'm just not confident. Like when a level is this large, it's like, oh, I don't know, just somewhere, like if you see a candlestick on the screen, take calls. I don't like to have such big zones like this, but I can't ignore all of that order flow. It's pretty massive. So unfortunately, we've got to grab, kind of this whole zone. I mean, we could cut out yeah, we can start at 25. Easy. So we'll do that. Make it at least a little bit smaller. And so now we have to transpose this to our SPY chart. And I guess right at the end of the day, we're looking at the 1255 candle. This one. And we're basically wanting to be in calls right here. I'm going to say up to the POC for SPY, just because, to be on the safe side. I don't think I need to say large and high all in the same sentence. So there we go. We come to this level, you want to be in calls. I'll type that for people that just look at my charts and don't attend the videos. Okay. So if they give you this tomorrow, grab it. Don't ask questions. Play it up to 217 or whatever. Or 617, I'm sorry. Now I want to look at my imbalance chart and see if we identify any other important levels. To do this, you go to cluster. You change it from single to imbalance. And that is all. And then these, yeah, we're not going to find anything. Sometimes you'll have clusters on lower time. I mean, imbalances that you don't see on lower time frames. But right now, I don't think I'm seeing anything at all. Yeah. They've all been taken out. There's one way down here, but yeah, that's far off. I will say there is one thing I noticed on the chart that I didn't share with you guys. Maybe, hopefully, like some people that are students of mine saw it. Even though I didn't mention it, that would be awesome. But I'll point it out right now. Maybe some people notice it now that I've kind of talked about it without actually identifying it for you guys. Actually, it's probably invalid now. Yeah, it's invalid. Whenever we have two POCs on the candle that are side by side at the same level, normally, like, same thing, when you see selling from that level and you get two full body candles on 30 minutes that, you know, open and close below or open and close below above, the next time you come to that level on ES, you'll generally get about a 40 to 50 point move in the same direction. But this time we came back to it and just smashed through it. Maybe it's because it's over the weekend. Like, the people that had their orders there might have closed them. But I was thinking maybe if we come back and retest this level, it might not be a terrible spot to get in long. But based on the fact that we already sold off from there and came back and just smashed through it, they're probably not going to respect it if we come back down to it now. So I take it all back. But anyway, just a little peek into how my mind works and how I think. Anytime you see these double stacked high volume nodes, or I mean the POCs, pay attention. Especially if it's during regular trading hours. If it's in the overnight session, they don't hold as much weight. But even just the ones on 30-minute time frames are normally like enough to be exciting, cause some nice excitement. Oh, so actually we have one here on 30 minutes right in our buy zone, right? So we're buying between whatever it was, 25 and 19, and our that double stack is at 220. I think I'm going to move my order down to 220 actually, or 221. That way I can have my stop a little bit further out. And if I miss the trade, I miss the trade. It is what it is. I'm going to do 221.50, and my take profit I'm going to put at 62.40, and now I can be more or less worried about my stop loss. I'm not going to put it down at 212, so let me figure it out really quick. If I go, I did 221.50, and my take profit is 240. Oh, this makes things a lot easier. 215 and a quarter, almost 4 to 1. If they stop me out, they stop me out. Whatever. Basically, what I've done, if I turn off VWAP, because I don't really care about it for this trade, at least, I just figure if they're going to try to stop me out, they're going to come to this level here and hit my stop and then go. So I'm giving them a little bit of space below, like a 1.5 to reverse and go back. Actually, I might give them a little bit more now that I'm looking at this a little bit closer. I was eyeballing it, and yeah, I'll do 214 and a quarter, and that gives me just a little bit more breathing room if they try to do a stop hunt. So hopefully you guys got to see like the whole thought process, but yeah, I'll be very happy if they give this to me. All right. let's look at SPY really quick. Again, I don't have much other than if they retest this level. I think this is going to be just the spot where you want to get into calls, right? Hopefully they do it during regular trading hours and not in the overnight session. If for some reason they break through this or gap, like if overnight they just gap below it, right, and we open kind of here, if they give you a retest like this, you can play it to the short side, okay? But really the main thing that I'm interested based on what they're doing right now with price is for them to retest the top of this and then go. Okay. Let me turn off my trading software really quick. My orders are in place, so it's like warning me. Active orders detected about that trade that I placed. And now I can see you guys on the chat again. Yeah, I still think they're going to hit 62.50, but I'm going to take profit at 62.40 just to be on the safe side, Wolf. I'm pretty sure that it's like doing trash, right? Yeah, this is the death of a company kind of thing. It's a bummer. But, yeah, doesn't look good. Oh, I can't even use the clouds. This company is too new for me to even look at clouds. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't look good. I know this is something Shorty called out. And basically this red box I have drawn is like, this was the do or die zone and we've died, right? We've lost that and just not looking good here. I don't even know what I based this on. Is there a level? Yeah, okay. This is what I based it on. And now, like, we're trading below. We're at the lowest it's ever been. Ever. So, yeah. They're going to go out of business. They're going to get delisted, I'm sure. Unless some miracle happens. Apple D. Yeah, it did good for a little bit. I know Shorty made money on it because he kept buying at one level and then closing it. Like, basically, I think every time it would come in this zone or something like that, I don't remember exactly where, but, like, he would buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, whatever. So, yeah. Unfortunately, this was, like, one of the losers, right, that we called out, or Shorty called out. I think he was buying when it was through here. Roughly, I don't know the exact level. It wasn't $30, but I think it was like 26 or something like that. And shortly after he started buying, it died. It's going to happen, like it was a news thing, but generally Shorty has a very high win rate on stocks. Here, let me put you on something, okay? Oh, this is applied. Never mind. I thought this was A leveraged ETF for Apple. Don't trade leveraged ETFs. That's what I was going to say. But it's not a leveraged ETF. And this is a bear flag. And how ugly is it? Pretty ugly. Whatever this is. Oops, no, I did not do that. I wouldn't want any part of this. I mean, I guess you can short it. This is the next target. 777. This is the zone where you enter puts. And if they cross this white line, you close the trade because it's invalidated. So entry, stop loss, take profit. And if you don't know how what I just did works, this is a bear pennant. Something like this. That shit's going to trigger my OCD. Let me fix it. Right. It might take them a while to get up to this 1150-ish range or 1130 range to get into puts. But this is where you would want to get in, and then you take it down to 777, or actually close a little bit early, like maybe $8, because you want to close into strength. You don't want to try to bink the bottom on option trades, right? Hopefully you're not bullish, because I have bad news. There's even like a bear flag on lower time frames. Just the profit target's not going to be as low. It might be invalidated. Let me see. Yeah, so they've invalidated this little bear flag. Never mind. Take it back. Or maybe it's this here. In which case, they would have already hit the zone that you want to be in puts. And then the profit target would be 841. Okay. I don't love doing right as I'm about to say, I don't like doing I don't know what you would see on Apple D that you think are applied, whatever, on a 1 hour that you think looks good, because this is just a massive bear flag. Like, I guess the key, like, I don't, oh man. I don't like to do, what's it called? I don't like to do requests, because I don't want to spend whatever 30 minutes charting out an entire chart. And when I say this, it's not because it's just for one person, but it's like, if I see option subs that are worth taking, I tell you guys about it. If I don't, then it's probably just not worth me looking at. Yeah, this just looks really bad. Everything I'm looking at. So like, where people get screwed up on bull and bear flags is when, let me try to explain. So this is like, this is a February value area high. And so, again, people that have done like my classes and stuff, you would have already seen this, but if price comes down, let's just put a fake line on the chart really quick, like right here. right? Let's pretend this is my February value high, and price came down to here like we did, and then starts forming this bear flag, right? Normally, like every retail trader is like, oh, we have a bear flag. Hey, what's up, Nora? Let's get puts. What they don't recognize is that the bear flag formed when it bounced off of a massive support level, right? What you want to see is exactly what's happening, which is price broke through what would be a massive support level and started forming a bear flag below it, where actually this 1084 level would not be a terrible spot to be in puts. They might not give you the golden pocket because we're bouncing, right at a resistance level, and they might dump it from here and go down to 777. So anytime that you see a bear flag that's broken through a key support level and now it's acting as resistance is generally when the bear flag is going to make the move that you would expect the bear flag to move. Expect the bear flag to make. But the times where retail traders get faked out is because they don't recognize that the bear flag formed as it's bouncing off of support. Same thing or inverse for bull flags. If price comes up to here, right, and then starts forming a flag, something like this, whatever. This now retail traders are like, oh, we're going to break and go higher. They miss the fact that we're rejecting off of a key resistance level. What you want to see, again, same thing. You want to see us break through that key resistance level, and then you want to see your candles, forming above it or whatever. And normally where you want to get onto into the trade is when price comes down to that. Sorry, let me make this look a little bit cleaner. When price finally comes back down and touches that key support level is where you get into calls and play it up. And then you draw your fibs from the top of the flagpole to the bottom to give you your 272 level, which is where you close the trade. So if this was a real bull flag, you would be looking to close at 1305, and I would just say close at 13. So it's difficult for me to look at just like random stocks because I would have to chart each one for whatever it is, 15, 20, 30 minutes. And I've already looked at AMD, right? I didn't see anything worth talking about. In the past, I've called out AMD trades. I've called out trades on everything that everybody ever asks for, even GME. And like even GME hit, like we caught, I don't remember exactly when, but we took calls. It was here. We took calls above 2305. Right here, back in whatever it was, November. Caught a massive move on GME. I don't remember where I said to close it, but yeah, we took this right here. So yeah, we call all this stuff out when we see it. Stuff like AMD, I look at it every single day. There's no point in asking for it because if I don't see a setup, it's not going to change because you ask, right? I can peek at it and see where I think it might go, but that doesn't really mean much of anything. Yeah, it's... I don't know. Based on what I look at, there's nothing really to trade here. there's some pretty key resistance levels above, so I wouldn't be like super stoked about being in calls. Um, we have a gap here. Intraday, is it, or no? No, gap that they're gonna want to fill. Um, this doesn't look like a terrible spot to be in calls right through here when they fill this gap. But there's nothing here that's screaming like, oh, big move one way or another. Um, Again, otherwise I would have called it out. Um, I look at AMD every day, and again, like I'm not trying to make anybody feel like crap for asking. I just, if I've already looked at it, I'm not going to see something different because you ask. I think I already said that, but it's just the truth. Yeah. I guess the real thing is does anybody have any questions on SPY? Let me go post this in Keenan's. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. Or less likely, but if they do this, then watch for puts. Okay. I'll hang out for a second and see if anybody has any questions. For people in Keenan's Discord that are of the doctorate tier, I'll be trading live tomorrow morning. I'll post the link pretty soon here. Sorry, my wife's being really loud on the phone with her mom. And she's speaking Chinese, so she sounds angry, but she's not. Bro, I'm bad at this. I keep forgetting to @ everyone, and then if you edit the message and add it afterwards, nobody gets alerted. Wow. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm like super low energy. Doing way too much, working way too hard. I wouldn't change a thing, but it's getting to the point where I need a break, and I'm about to get one. So I'll just throw this out there right now. I don't know the exact dates, but I have like a pretty rough idea. I think as of Saturday. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong month, so it's like really confusing me. Should look at July, and then that would make sense. Yeah, I think Saturday night / Sunday morning, like 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to be leaving. I'm going to be driving my son to Reno, Nevada, because he does a summer camp there. At a school that's for like gifted and talented children. And so once a year, we drop him off so he can go hang out with kids that are, like the same intellectual level as him. It's the only time he plays with kids that are like the same age as him. He always hangs out with kids that are older than him or much younger, but never really kids his age. So Saturday the 5th, I believe, or Sunday the 6th, I'll be leaving my house probably like 1 or 2 in the morning, driving to Reno. And then I'm going to be staying there through Thursday, I believe. I probably will not be doing a video from Friday the 4th all the way until I'll probably do a video like Sunday the 13th. So I'm going to be gone for at least a good week. Just an FYI, everybody. Yeah, no, I take vitamins and everything. I just, if you saw the amount of work that I do, like my wife is Chinese and she's always telling me to slow down. And Chinese people are like one of the hardest working people that I know. I mean, there's other nationalities like Hispanic people tend to be really hardworking. But when you have a Chinese woman telling you you're working too hard, you're really putting in the hours, and it's just everything, you know, like between doing my YouTube videos with you guys, live trading, setting up my own charts for the next day, just whatever, like I can go on and on, studying. I'm constantly studying, constantly trying to grow, constantly trying to get better. There's always more knowledge to attain out there, more growth to be had, room for improvement in ourselves, right? So like I never like look at myself and think, wow, like I'm a really good trader, I'm the man. No, I'm like, what's next? How do I get better? You know, like how do I minimize losses even more? It's all about like figuring out how to have a higher win rate percentage, right? Even though mine's really good. But what tends to happen with me is I'll go, whatever it is. Like, even if it's just like doing stuff with the kids or, you know, playing with them or hanging out or whatever, I just go. And I'm burning the candles at both ends all the time. And then eventually I'll crash and I'll like sleep for like 13, 14 hours. And I'm getting to the point where I need to sleep for like 13 or 14 hours to reset and recharge. And so that's all it is. So like if I sound low energy, it's just that I'm getting really tired. But I will say, I shared this in Keenan's, and I'm not saying this to brag, but I'm actually super hyped and super pumped right now. In this year, and when I say year, I don't mean like fiscal year, or I don't mean running year from like June of 24 to now. I mean from January of 25 to now. I've like doubled my income, all from like trading. So like things are going very well, you know, and the hard work is paying off. And I'm proud of myself and I'm happy with my results. But more importantly, I would like to share with you guys that, I mean, you don't have to work as hard as I do, but everything I talk about is achievable by everybody. You just have to put in the hours, you have to put in the time, you have to study, you have to work, and you have to work hard. But if you want to be a professional trader, you can absolutely become a professional trader. You just have to put in the hours and you'll get there. So that's the real message. It's not about like bragging about how much money I'm making or whatever, or not making, but really just whatever it is you want to achieve in life, and especially younger people watching. I remember like when I was younger and, you know, the older, more experienced OGs would talk to me and say stuff like I'm saying right now, and I would just kind of blow them off. I mean, I'd be polite and respectful and be, oh, thank you, you know, whatever. But in the back of my head, I'm like, yeah, whatever, old man. Like, I wish I listened to those OGs back then. So if you're here, you know, you're already showing, you know, like the desire to grow and learn. Like nobody's twisting your arm to be here. And if you're already at that mindset, like really, really apply yourself when you're young, especially with investing, not just trading, right? If you drink Starbucks coffee, stop drinking Starbucks coffee and take whatever it is, that's $7, $10 every day, and put it into investments. And by the time you're like 40, 45, whatever, you'll be rolling in cash. Or make a sacrifice somewhere. I always go to Starbucks coffee because it's like, I mean, even me. And when I say even me, I say that because I could afford to go to Starbucks every single day and still invest and do whatever else. But I choose not to do those things because it's a waste of money. I make my own coffee. And if I'm feeling bougie, um, I have a nice espresso machine and I can make my own simple syrups. I can make caramel sauce. I can do all of that stuff. I can make coffee that's way better than Starbucks. It just takes way more effort, right? But I'm totally capable of doing it. And I do that if I want, like a really nice coffee. But I generally just drink, coffee with a little cream and a little sugar every day. And whatever, once a week, I'll treat myself and I'll go to my local coffee spot. It's called Lucky Coffee. And they have like their own house made, like custom simple syrups that are amazing. Their coffee is way better than Starbucks, but I refuse to spend that much money on coffee every day because it's just such a waste of money. Way better off investing it. So just some advice from an older guy to hopefully, well, even people my age, but to the younger people that might be listening, like really just start investing in yourself. Start investing in your future. Don't just focus on day trading. Or one of the things that I do, like if you're profitable, I have a little tiny account where I started with $300. And what I would do is I would take an option trade and close it. If I made money, I would take all of my earnings and put them into, not right away, but I would wait for good prices to buy into stocks that I really want to own shares in. And then I would bounce on it, right, with the earnings that I made from options. If I lost money and I went below $300, then like on my next trade or whatever, when I get back above 300, whatever I have over 300, I set aside to buy shares. And I've just been slowly growing this account through taking $300 cash, trading options, taking anything over 300, buying shares, rinse and repeat over and over and over again. But if you're not at that level with trading yet, which is fine, just make sure you're taking some money. Dude, I wish my wife would close some doors. Like, hang on one second. Okay. Um, so, um, yeah, point being, like, it's probably safe to say every single person in here, and I'm saying this, wait, oh, is Lisa still here? Um, Lisa on Keenan's Discord, make sure you go check out her Crown Trader section where she literally talks about what I'm saying, like taking that $10 a day and dollar cost averaging into, I don't know exactly what she buys, but I think she dollar cost averages into VU, which is amazing, right? And she shows her account growth over the years and what she's doing. And it should be very inspirational for a lot of people. But for a lot of people, you might think, wow, $10 a day, like that's unaffordable. And that's BS. Like you cut out that Starbucks coffee, cut out like eating out, every single day or whatever it is. Start spending your money more wisely by like making coffee at home for a quarter versus spending $10 on a Starbucks, or eating out, one or two less times a week, and cooking at home saves a lot of money. Things like that. There's always somewhere where you can cut back to where that $10 a month is affordable. But $10 a day is affordable. It's like $300 a month. And a lot of it you're just wasting on stupid things you don't need. So make sure you invest in yourself, because if you make those sacrifices today, like I said, in 20 years, 30 years, you're going to be so wealthy that at that point in time, you can retire, you can kick your feet up, you can travel the world, you can go sit on beaches, you can go do whatever the hell you want, and nobody can tell you otherwise. And that's the point you want to get to, where you have that nest egg where you just live off of the dividends or whatever, live off of the interest, and you're not even cutting into your principal money that you have. All right. That's going to do it for me for the night. I really, really hope some people take that advice And I hope like in 20 years from now, you DM me and you're like, hey, I listened to you and check out my account today. I would love to see some messages like that. Or even for parents, if you have kids, if you can afford to put whatever it is, $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, like the day they're born into an account, by the time they're ready to retire, it'll probably be worth like, I don't even want to like give an amount, but it'll be millions and millions of dollars in today's money. So obviously millions and millions of dollars will be less in 40 or 60 years or whatever. But in today's money will be the value of what it is in 40 or 60 years will be millions and millions of dollars. Maybe it'll be billions by that time. I don't know. But it'll have the same value as, you know, like whatever, $100 million today or whatever, $50 million today. So if you can do that stuff and set your kids up for life, that would be the thing to do. And then when they retire, they'll never have to worry. Anyway, just food for thought. Words of wisdom from an old dude that just turned 50. That still makes me laugh. I can't believe I'm 50. And I'll say this really quick before I call it a day. I feel like I'm like in my 20s until I'm around people in their 20s and they start talking and I'm like, what the hell are they saying? Like, I mean, you guys are going to laugh at me and it's all good. Like when they say like, hey, cut the cap or cap this, cap that, whatever, or on hood or yeah, my boy or type shit. Like what? Well, you guys shut the fuck up. Speak English. Anyway, type shit. With that said, as always, much love, everybody. If you're new, I would love a sub. Basically, we go live like 5 days a week, talk about SPY, look for entries that we're looking for on trades, and generally a couple times a week or once a week, we'll go over option subs that we're looking at. Generally, a few times a week, my mentor will go over futures and what he's watching for on futures. And then generally like once or twice a month, we'll do some education and cover some educational stuff, teach how we trade, how we find setups, so on and so forth. My mentor did a really good class today on options, and I think he also went over stock picks for long-term portfolio. So if you didn't see it, it's worth checking out. I think right now the video says it's 7 hours long, but I was at my son's concert and I couldn't stop the video, so I just left it running. So it's recording. A lot of it is just dead air where nobody's talking and nothing's happening. But I don't want people to feel intimidated because it looks like it's a 7 hour long class. Anyway, type shit. Much love, much respects. We'll see you all tomorrow. Peace out, everybody. Type shit. Bye.